So, welcome back to the second half of episode 3. While we are trying to keep the show alive, and we'll probably have a discussion about that after tonight's episode ends, this and every other show I do, it isn't to entertain you or to show off my amazing GM skills or play with my cool friends. It's really all just so that people will draw me amazing pictures, and then I can just put them up on my wall and be like, wow, this is a fucking cool picture. I can't believe someone made this.
Hanging that on the refrigerator.
For me, personally. Because I assume all fan art is made for me, and not for the rest of the audience. It's clearly all about me.
Yeah.
Not for the players, not for the audience.
Yeah.
It's
All this other stuff is questions like 2 through 8. Question 1 is how do I get cool pictures on my wall, right?
Right.
For art there.
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, when you were talking to me about playing Mistborn, I'm just like, you're like, yeah, we might have some fan art if you play your character well. I'm like, nah, not me. No one would do fan art of something I wrote.
Literally the primary fan art target of...
It's so awesome, man. It keeps me so hyped.
the super kawaii.
Yeah, we say it a lot, but seriously, all of you guys that do that are the best.
That's
the
so
best ever.
true.
Just the audience getting involved in any level.
Yeah, literally
throwing
anything
out
that you guys
ideas for
do to
me.
show that you. Yeah.
People showed up during the GM turn and were helping me set up
Oh
quests.
yeah, I wish I could watch that, but.
Me too.
What
I
are you gonna
think.
do?
Oh
of the
God, no!
4-episode run,
See,
all the
because there's some
spoilers are
spoilers.
Yeah.
I would say you could go back and watch
No.
it, but there's some stuff about
yeah, I know.
Francine that would be spoilery.
Yeah, last week I was like, oh, Arthur's live. And then I was like, oh, he's doing the thing that I literally am
Oh.
not allowed to watch.
GM
I
turn,
can't,
and
I
he's
can't
the
go to the
only
channel.
the only stream on Twitch that I'm following that's live at the moment. Guess I'll just go play some more Stardew.
Stardew,
Yeah.
Yep.
So Odalys, did we want to have a scene with you here? Did you have something you were doing to learn the secrets of House Trubina and Holstag?
Yeah, I think that I was going out and actually talking to some informants, or possibly sending Evelyn to go talk to some informants for me. Because I'm not cool enough to go out and do it myself, and I'm not.
So you're sending Evelyn to talk to informants for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean that can be handled in a short conversation, and then we'd make a roll.
By the way,
Yeah.
don't think we had like an actual description of like what Evelyn like looks like. Apart from
I
how
think
she
we
dresses.
did to some extent.
I
At
can't
least
remember.
in terms of like what she wears. I don't know
Yeah.
that we had an overall physical description.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll throw it to you guys. What do you think she looks like? I know what I think she looks like, but
That's the thing. I didn't really have like a solid mental image of what she looked like, apart from she wears like battle clothes everywhere.
Yeah.
all right. Well, I figure she's probably got short brown hair, definitely green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bit taller than the average ska, which would make her somewhat short for a noble woman.
Yeah.
Kind of very athletic and toned. Not really just like super muscularly, but you know, it's a Bruce Lee versus Jackie Chan. Like, not a lot of showing muscle, but definitely all of it that's there is like, yeah she can punch through a wall, obviously.
Pure
Yeah, yeah,
muscle.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know
sounds
that
good.
she's particularly conventionally beautiful or attractive, but probably what some people would consider very handsome for a woman. And definitely lots of scars all along like her hands and her arms and probably on either side of her cheek from practicing with live steel
Yeah.
during battles rather than using the traditional wood because she's hardcore as hell.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
And I think she's definitely all legs, like definitely long legs. Yep, leather jerkin, tight pants.
I think she's definitely small in the bust area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, like
Which is-
athletic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But does she have a booty?
Does she have a booty? I think we established that she does have a booty last episode, right?
Yeah, she does have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
That was an
Vyse
important part of last
following that
episode.
around.
Swiggity swooty, coming for that booty.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point from Riga. Like she's attractive in that an MMA champion is attractive. Like she's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I'm a fan of Ronda Rousey. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
exactly.
because of her body, but because she's like, yeah, Mewtwo. And I'm like, oh, man, she's so cool. She literally never loses fights, and she talks about Pokemon. So, Odalys, what is your relationship with Evelyn right now?
I mean, we're on pretty good terms.
Okay.
Um, she, she does the things that need to get done. And she keeps the house guard in line. And I make sure that she gets. I make sure that she gets those little extra bonuses that may not be in the form of money. I feel like she has some, like she comes to me for herbal needs. And that's really broad, and there's like 3 or 4 different ways that you could take that. And I don't know if you want me to pick one of them, or if all of them could potentially be true.
No, that's good. So I think Evelyn comes into whatever room you're waiting for her in, and is like stripping off her leather jerkin, and she just has her like normal dark green tunic that matches her eyes. And just like slumps a little disrespectfully in a chair. You know, normally a ska would be forced to like wait on their feet for you, but as someone who's married into your family, she is given a little bit more leeway than normal, and she definitely goes past that line as well. And like wipes the sweat off of her brow and maybe like blows some of her hair out of the way and is like, Lady Martell, is there something I can help you with? You called for me?
Yes, Evelyn, I need your assistance. You know the kerfluffle that happened with House Trebilla a month ago, and we've been a little out of the loop. I need you to talk to some people around the town. I need to know what is going on in that house these days. Find out who their enemies are.
So she looks a little like distressed by this and downtrodden and is like, of course, my lady, I can work that into my schedule at some point. Next week, perhaps?
And the sooner the better. Now, Evelyn is there. Are we working too hard?
I don't know what my purpose is here anymore. We don't need guards. I don't know why we're working so hard on the defenses. There's nothing happening in the city.
Yet.
Is there something you need to tell me? Some larger plan that I need to be aware of?
Yes, it is part of why I brought you here. We are hoping, perhaps hoping is too strong a term. In the near future, we believe that there may be a fight between the houses, and we would like to be prepared to take advantage of such a situation. Of course, we will not be instigating anything directly ourselves, but it's always best to be prepared.
Interesting. All right, so I would like you to make a roll, probably a little differently than what you were expecting. I would like you to make a spirit roll to convince Evelyn of her part in the larger plan here.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's just going to be a 1. She just needs a little bit of a boost. She's just acting a little out of sorts. And so in order to do this, you'll have to spend 1 point of spirit, dropping your spirit dice to 2 in the future, and you'll have 3 until you can spend the time to recover that spirit. And there's a lot of things you can do with spirit. You can alter details of play that we've already seen.
I forgot
Oh,
about
wow.
that. Yeah.
So here's something you do. Like, here's a difficulty through spirit test. That guard that you just saw left his sword hanging on his chair. Or a character in a scene produces an item that they've never mentioned before. So spirit is the power of like fate and luck. But right now we just need spirit as like a reinforcement of Evelyn's faith in the house. For those who've been catching some of the hints, Evelyn is a little disappointed in the house, and especially with Vyse, and really solidly with Valette, in terms of ska freedoms.
Do I need to give her
She
the
went to
omelet
Valette
speech?
and was like, "How about that ska free will?" And Valette was like, "Later."
Do I need to give her the omelet speech?
So yeah, I want to, like, I feel like
Ambitious house will definitely apply here.
yeah, I think ambitious house definitely
Because
applies.
you're like, yeah, there's a bigger plan.
And I think that's pretty much it because
Okay, you have
Yeah.
4 dice.
I'm really tall. That's impressive, right?
You're taller than she is. If you want to work that into the fiction that you're somehow like using that to impress her, sure. Show it to me. Show me the tallness.
Yeah, so I will then. I stand up a little straighter. She's sitting and she's slumped, and I use my height in order to really bring that noble bearing and show that this is our right path for this house. And just not like overshadow her, but just like be a pillar of tallness and stability.
All right, you're doing the Galadriel.
Yes.
Maybe you're like standing highlighted with a window behind you.
Oh, of course, like one of those amazing stained glass windows.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You got 5 dice, and you just need a pair of ones.
Okay, I need a pair of somethings. Let's go.
Pair of 3s,
threes.
the 2
Oh,
nudges.
yeah.
Excellent. Not enough nudges to grab an extra action, but this will definitely be a successful trip for you. And you will get 2 pieces of knowledge.
Awesome.
I want to cut back to Vyse and Valette while I work out which secrets or pieces of information. What are the 2 of you doing now that you're drinking wine and being
Yeah, so I
seduced
guess
by the likes of Francine Tralbina?
I am curious. What do we come back to? Have we like?
I don't know. What did we come back to?
Are we still
Tell me.
talking, or are we
you still talking?
They've started talking
think-
again.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
started
are you
talking.
talking bodies? Because she's got a perfect one, so put it on me. Pop reference. In 20 years, when people come back and watch this, they'll be like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I'm sitting right here and I don't know what the fuck you're talking.
It's a song. Don't worry about it. It's a song from last year.
I guess I'm not. I would like to think that Valette's planted the seeds enough that something happens.
Probably we're talking. It just pans back to us talking, but it's visibly a lot more casual now. And just sort of leave what went down up to the imagination.
Like maybe you seem like we all finished like doing something like I'm putting my boots back on or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or, like-
is that how deep this went? I was thinking maybe you guys were like buttoning your shirts back up after a makeout session, but if you're putting your boots back on,
Or something,
have gotten-
just something really, really small. That's like, wait a minute, what just
Yeah.
happened here?
maybe we get like Vyse buckling his belt back on, and everyone's just like, oh, huh.
So that's a thing.
Yeah, like we're like Fran,
Wow,
like
you guys went all in on this one. Okay. Yeah.
No.
feel
we're
like you should
getting
take
out
the
of here.
trait compromised by Francine.
I mean, yeah,
no.
Valette's all
Francine
in,
is
so
probably
whatever happened,
So
happened.
it's like probably something that's not like super serious, but definitely looks bad.
Yeah.
When you see it.
It was just a simple makeout session with
Yeah.
all three of you involved.
Exactly. That's
yeah.
that's the kicker.
So Francine's wearing like, what do you call it? Like armless, silk blouse and like loose trousers, and like laying down on a fainting couch, and she's just like curled back, like, oh, that was very nice. We should do that more often, Valette, Vyse. So good to have you over. Is there something else we should be talking about? I'd be willing to talk some more.
I mean, I'm always willing to talk with the two of you, but
I have a question. You said when we first saw her, she was wearing like
Yeah, she's
essentially
changed clothing.
Yeah, essentially
There's
like
been a
leather
costume change between last scene and this.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if like I could call attention to that, if that's like still like something that's in the scene.
Yeah. Like maybe it's piled next to the bed.
Yeah, and I'll just be like, "Where did you get that?" It's unusual dress for a noble lady.
Well, you know, I have a series of ska who custom make clothing for me. You know, Valette and I are not exactly ascribing to the Lord Ruler's sense of fashion, all lights and darks and very stark clothing. I like something with a little bit more rebellion.
exactly. It's like, you know, and she just kind of motions like her, like just like the tunic she has, like with the whole like the left like the sleeve is like cut and like a little tattered a little bit, and then she has like the right sleeve that she left like, but it's got like marks on it and stuff, just like, you know, just showing that we're not like every other noble lady out there. It's very.
What about your relations with Hofstag? Did you talk about that?
So she's like, relationship with Hofstag? I don't understand what my uncle sees in the man. They've been getting uncomfortably close.
Ugh, that guy. I'm glad I did what I did. I would never apologize for it in a million years.
Callback scene later. You're like the worst twins ever.
Speaking of uncomfortably close, your uncle seems to be favoring that Mistborn lady.
Yes. I assume she's doing something to him, you know. Allomancy magic. She's, as a Mistborn, she's probably emotionally compromising him. Such devilish trickery.
We wouldn't know anything about that.
So she looks at you, Vyse, kind of strangely, and she's like, I thought you were an Elemencer.
Well, yes, but not of the emotional kind.
Oh, I see. Well, Trawan wasn't very specific.
And are you an Elemencer?
Wow, I feel like you're really gonna have to. Are we opening up a conflict here, or is this just like a contest question?
This is a contest question.
Okay, so this is just one question. You don't want
I'm
to
not.
like emotionally.
I'm not playing
compromise it.
hardball or something.
Okay.
I'm just like, you know.
I think you're definitely using charm, right? You're like asking a question.
Yeah, either charm or influence.
Could I help?
Because it's
Just
just like
add a dice. Just
sort
be
of
like,
like a.
it's
Sort
not-
of like a kind of.
I mean, we're among friends.
There's
Yeah.
not really a helping dice, but I'll tell you what, that zinc trait is still being enabled, right?
Yeah.
So maybe
So I was
give
going
him a
to-
give him a
Yeah,
die.
it lasts.
because
It lasts for an hour.
yeah. I'll let you call on that to help you out.
Yeah.
So that'll give you like 4 dice.
Also trying to like I don't know, try and swear in the way of like, hey, you tell me your secret, I'll tell you my secret.
Yeah, she's already playing that game with you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be charm versus charm, and she recently upped her charm as a result of your last battle. She threw advancements. She threw a lot of advancement into that. I was like, yep. After almost getting compromised by you guys, she's definitely gonna.
All right. So with an extra dice, I'm rolling 4d6 on charm.
You have any traits you want to call on? What's everyone laughing about now?
You guys just killing.
My Allomancy lasts for an hour, but Vyse doesn't.
Yep.
Wow. Apparently you roll against her spirit rather than charm versus charm.
Oh.
So
it's
you will
charm
be
versus-
rolling. She will only be rolling 2 dice in her defense.
Sweet.
Let me just make sure about that. I feel like charm versus charm would be the thing to go with. Let's see here. But apparently charm versus charm tests are... No, you can do it in seduction tests. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely going to be that because you're trying to compromise her and she's definitely trying to do the same thing back to you.
I mean, we're both going to be compromised. We both tell each other what kind of Allomancer we are. Even though I already have.
Yeah. She's got a pair of 2s and you've got
2 nudges. Crap.
No pairs, but nudges.
So you failed to get what you want out of her, but she doesn't slap any complications on you.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, so it kind of comes... She doesn't really drive the point in too much. When you ask her the question, she's like, no. Am I an Allomancer?
Who's really an Allomancer? I mean...
Right.
What does that even entail? Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. So I think definitely then after that, then Vyse will stand up, collect himself, and he'd be like, well, I believe that me and Valette have an appointment at the Canton of Finance. Meeting
You can't
with a friend
stay
of
any
ours.
longer?
No, but perhaps you can come by our place sometime.
An open invitation, then.
Definitely
Somewhat open.
Well, let's go
Send a messenger
downstairs. and-
first.
She says, let's go downstairs and talk to the house obligator. We'll get it on the record, and maybe I'll clean up a bit before we get down there.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, so I think that's the end of the scene, is like her heading into the powder room to like arrange her clothing so it doesn't look like she was just making out with both
Making
of
out
you at the
sesh.
same time. Yeah. I mean, it's not incest for her. It's incest for Vyse and Valette.
I
Right.
mean, why we got to throw all these labels on things, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Why you gotta label? You know,
I mean,
Allomancer. She doesn't need to put herself in a box. I mean, why you gotta get all these labels?
That's just like the establishment, man.
I know, right, man? It's
That's
just like,
that's our problem. Is the establishment.
exactly. We're fighting against the establishment. I think we just struck a really good blow against the establishment.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I have the 2 secrets. I'm going to send them to you, Kelsa. As a result of your nudges, nothing from your house is being revealed as part of that. So
Nice.
when you go talk to an informant, you give as much as you get. But Evelyn is good enough with the determination that you've given her.
Yeah.
She keeps her stuff together.
Filled with determination.
good.
She is filled with determination. And that one, I don't know how much of this you want to share, so that's why I'm keeping it secret. And some of it will just be corroborating things you already know in the meta. Okay, what's the next scene here? Vyse and Valette have, put on the record publicly that they've invited Francine over to their house anytime she wants to come over. So
we've
so
got
where do
that
we
door
bounce
open.
from there? We've got Odalys.
I mean, we've already learned a few secrets from Trobina.
Sure.
From her.
Sure.
But I think
We wanted to
yeah.
see our contact at the Canton of Finance.
Okay, so
And then-
who's going there? Is it just Vyse and Valette, or is it everybody? I know KinSay had an appointment to,
That's true. Maybe
you know, at some point get more money, since he seems to be out of it. Are
like
you
we
there
were
as well?
Yeah. Yeah, as maybe I expected to have my finances looked at as there must be something wrong, because I clearly have more money than.
And you said Saragius was a personal friend of mine, right?
Of your house, but you specifically work
Yeah.
with him?
So, like, you know, he probably recognizes me.
Yeah, and Saragius is the prelin of this particular establishment. He's like the high priest of this particular bank church.
Yeah, the big cheese.
So,
Good old bank churches.
Odalys, are you there as well? I don't know.
Sure,
You
why
can
not?
say, so the four of you are let in. The obligators kind of ignore you to some extent, as would be expected. It's not their job to deal with you. Some like low-ranking nobility and ska are like serving you anything you want. They're like bringing you out wine and cheese. It's not quite as good as what you just had at Hofstag's, KinSay, because they clearly didn't have like hot food prepared ahead of time for any
Just in
random
case,
person.
yeah.
They just have like, you know, like a spread, a cheese plate, and
I feel
there's
Vyse
like
probably
numerous
has
discussions
the picture.
going down in like private alcoves. None of it's like loud enough that anyone can hear anything. And every couple of seconds or so, there's a guy in a corner with two sticks that like bang it together. Just making a loud, sharp noise. And that's when Saragius comes out. He looks just like very close-cropped beard, extremely noble, bald head, huge amount of facial tattoos in like block shapes around both eyes and down his neck, marking him as a prelin, wearing just a simple like steel-colored tunic. And in almost, it's not even a tunic, it's more like just a straight-up robe. And just like, yes, of course, my good friends from House Martell, Vyse, Lord and Lady Martell, and this wonderful young lady I don't believe we've met before. Would you be Valette?
Indeed.
Step into my office. I have some outstanding records about the finances of House Martell that require some discussion. And as he goes into his office, a number of lower-ranking obligators with maybe only one or two facial tattoos begin flooding out. And he closes the door behind all of you and gestures and is like, "Please sit. Now, what can I do for you, Lord Martell, Lord Vyse?"
Just pull out like the ledger and just like slide it across the table to him. It's like, we've been informed that some of House Martell's funds have been liquefied in escrow without our knowledge.
Well, you must understand there's been some issues. I'm afraid that with the religious laws, I'll have to speak with Lord Martell directly, privately. It's a very serious matter.
I like frown a lot. Like, I don't recall ever having to ask my wife to leave the room doing business before. Is it absolutely necessary?
So,
I think I'm turning up the vapid here, like, I don't understand why I would need to leave his side. And just, like, hand on arm, like, how could I ever be without him?
please, certainly we can accomplish the rest of our work Independent of this private conversation I must have with Lord Martell.
But we're such a cute couple.
Hmm.
Very well. My dear, I'm sure I can take care of this quickly, and we will invite you back into the room as soon as this...
So, I think that he says something, like a really innocuous sentence, and KinSay, you recognize it as like a countersign among the Kandra. That this guy is definitely a Kandra, and he's trying to like tell you, we need to meet privately. Shit is real. And he's just like, my lord, have you tried the Follows Red from the Vandel province?
It's only the legends have been told to me of that vintage. Darling, I will brief you on everything we've spoke of later.
Well, let's get our house business out of the way before our more private issue with Lord Martell needs to be spoken of. Now, I see these ledgers here. So he's like looking over them. You're preparing to bribe him to get a law on the books, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, maybe we've also brought, like, his favorite candy.
I feel like Vyse.
And we just
I feel
give
like
him a little
Vyse
bit of that.
probably has just like a small like chest of boxings with him somewhere in his pack.
Maybe it's like a, maybe it's in, like, some type of, like, cooking pot that it's like he lent it to us and we have to return
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Oh,
I like
I like
it.
that a lot. Yeah.
Yes, this is very nice. And maybe he's got like a spoon to like dip in there. And, yes, excellent. I just love eating things. It's just fantastic.
As do I.
Well then, these papers seem to have certain financial transgressions out of place here. Vyse, is there something specific you wanted out of the Canton of Finance, in accordance with our previous work?
Well, as you know, Saragius, I have done nothing but file all our taxes according to the time and deadlines. In
You
perfect
are
and-
definitely one of this city's best financially accounted houses. I can't speak to some of the other houses, of course, that would be breaking extreme privacy laws and almost certainly the competition that the Lord Ruler has set between all of you. But you are by far the most timely house on paying your tithe.
Yes, and with
There's
those
It's been
pri-
very impressive, especially considering the losses you've taken on your farm.
well, you know that's House Martell for you. We make do.
Indeed.
It's, of course, the our dues to the Lord Ruler come first.
Indeed. It's good to remember
course.
that the Lord Ruler
course.
should be first in all of our hearts.
Yes. About those privacy laws you spoke about, the other houses might be encroaching on.
So are you switching what you want him to do rather
I'm
than
like maybe you could start enforcing those laws a little bit more
Okay.
on those houses less loyal to the Lord Ruler.
So, I mean, is this the bribe here?
That's
you're
the
giving-
bribe.
Okay.
Have him go after these houses that haven't.
Because then we don't
the,
even have to put a new
that's
law on the
I'm just
books.
gonna slide these
Mhm.
boxings over here and you do you.
Okay, so spend a resources.
Yeah.
You start with
Alright.
6 dice. You're going to need to make a difficulty 3 resources test.
Okay. So I just put one in the spent. Difficulty 3 resource test with 6 dice. Let's make that roll.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
pair of
yep.
fours.
Yeah. Perfect.
And a pair of threes.
So Saragius is going over the ledgers, and he looks over at the candy pot and then looks back to all of you and is like, I suppose with the troubles in Luthadel, the house war that's erupted there, I could begin to make sure the Lord Ruler's tithe is on time with Luthadel's, well, inaccurate accounting that I'm sure will spring up. The Lord Ruler will expect the Uchu branch to continue to pull in the funds of noble and loyal houses like yourselves. And so he's like shuffling your papers into his papers. I'll make sure these are filed later today. Always a pleasure doing business with the House of Martell. Is there anything else we have outstanding? Lord Martell, may I speak with you in private then?
Now then, why don't the rest of you make your way back to the house? Make sure that Fenric, our new trainer, is getting settled. I'll be there as soon as possible.
Of course, Uncle.
As do
You
his
say
husband.
that awkwardly?
Maybe like a little bit. It's not like noticeable enough, but just like in like a weird,
I mean,
a little bit of a weird tone. But
Chandra
like,
that's watching you.
Yeah.
They're several hundred-year-old students of human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you all exit the room, Sirajus immediately changes position from one of, like, casualness to, like, direct superiority over you, KinSay, and is like, KinSay.
You have me at odds. Your name is...
Vandel of the Third.
Maybe I do like a human bow in like a
You've
like a
clearly
wry.
spent far too much time among humans. That's not how we do things. 10 years? KinSay, I've come to tell you the seconds are no longer pleased with your performance here. We should never have given you an open-ended contract like that.
What, my medals are no good?
Looking over the funds that your young man there just supplied me with, I don't think you could purchase the ATM that you need. Your next contract of the open end is in 1 month. You'll need the ATM by then, or you're coming home. Arrange for a suitable death.
Very well.
And did you tell them about us? That young woman seemed very awkward about calling you uncle.
That young woman is very awkward.
I see.
Pay attention.
Well, I happen to know from your own reports that she is an Allomancer, and you know that you can never trust one of those burners. Keep yourself safe, KinSay. Don't let her find out about you.
I would not endanger myself in such a way. I know
Good.
they cannot be trusted, and
If
that
you
I need to
endanger
be
yourself, you endanger
control.
all of us. You've spent too much time away from the homeland. I'm suggesting that you don't make your next payment. Do you understand?
I hear you.
Good. Then I'll expect you to not make the next payment of ATM by next month. You may go, Lord Martell.
I turn and just walk, like, as soon as he gives me permission.
Okay. What's the next plan here?
We were going to check on what's his name, trainer dude.
Ah, right, Fenric.
Yeah, Fenrir.
Yeah, so yeah, that I think you definitely attempted objective 1. I can't say whether you succeeded or not. Let me
It's
say
like
this.
a half success.
Let me say this. Can we have a scene where you're observing Fenric, but instead it's House Martell getting together to talk about what each of your parties has individually learned to come up with the political groundwork for the House War? So like in the background, we'll see Fenric training people.
Yeah,
So
probably
someone
on like
in
an
chat,
overhanging balcony or
Okay.
something.
yeah, someone in chat asked what adium is. Adium is like the gold standard of currency in Mistborn. It's the most powerful metal. In that it allows you to see into the future a few seconds, the actions of everyone around you.
Yeah.
And so if you're burning atium, you can perfectly counter anything they do, which makes it really easy for Mistborn, the only people who can burn it, to totally murder you.
Like without an issue.
And
Although it's really
Kandra will only
expensive.
accept contracts paid in atium. They
Gotta
don't
get that.
accept boxings or clips or gold of any kind. They only use atium.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a big, I had a huge lump of atium that was, awarded to me for this contract, and in order to renew it in a month, I'll need another giant lump. And we don't
You
have
just
it.
need one. You just need one. So I think rather than it being one giant lump, I think like every few months you just have to pay another piece of atium. It's like one of those open-ended contracts, and they only agreed to it because they thought Odalys was an idiot. That she was just some vapid courtier who accidentally murdered her husband and needed someone to take his place to arrange a suitable death. You know, like,
And it just
oh, he
never-
died in a carriage accident. And they definitely, like, totally mess it up.
I have a question about that. If I'm gonna fake his death, do I just fake his death and then like leave his body and like schlep off somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to bloop, bloop away, leaving all that flesh there.
Right. That's what I thought.
You could do the Odo thing from Deep Space Nine, where you have Odalys carry you away in like a bucket.
Yeah. Might be a thing. So yeah, in the background
yeah,
we
the four
have
of you are
Fenric.
together. You see Fenric. He's like teaching the guardsmen what they need to do in case someone starts pushing on their metals. So your guardsmen have been well trained by your haze killers, but still they're not used to actually fighting lurchers because you don't have a lurcher on staff. And so when he like reaches out and their spear literally flips end over end and like flies through the air towards his hand and he like grabs it, everyone's like, oh, magic! And then he's like, all right then, you lot, shut the hell up. This is how it goes down. You do it like this and this. If someone grabs your spear, you just let it go. Maybe you fling it towards them and try to stab them in the face with it. Lurchers can't really control the power that much. And as we see him, like, teaching them how to kill a lurcher, basically himself, the House Martell gets together and discusses their secrets and plans. So let's do it. What are those secrets and plans?
Well, as
We,
you can see, Fenric is already hard at work, and this is quite beneficial to us. The training will make us quite a bit safer and more prepared for any large-scale combat that we do
Nearly-
initiate.
Nearly every noble house has been hiring mercenaries, additional guardsmen, training their noble allomances. There is definitely something brewing.
And I suspect it has to do with Risha.
I do too.
She
In fact, it may be related to her venture as well. It's been rumored that his arrival is what brought her back to the city.
and Postwick have actually been quite close.
Oh, really?
Indeed.
Yes, we spent some time, and the word "time" is also a little awkward. But like, we spent some time with Francine, talking and making her spill. And yes, her and Postwick have been getting quite close since she returned, I guess.
Oh, so glad she's Francine is taken with you. We certainly should have her stop by more often. Get comfortable with the rest of the family.
We extended
That's-
an open invitation to her, so if she wants to stop by, we can continue to lay that down and make sure she feels comfortable with us and that she can tell us anything she wants to say.
Perhaps she can come to the soiree I will be planning with all of us, and invited will be Risha and Postwick and Wolfram. A very tidy tight little party. The thing is, I am owing something to Wolfram for mighty Fenric here. And that is an apology, young woman. I don't want to hear anything about it other than, yes, it's not a problem. I can make a sincere apology. This is politics, you understand?
Sincere is a strong word, but I guess for the good of the house, I can say something.
Good, that is what I like to hear. It's
Fenric
so
is-
rare that you are looking out for the good of the house these days, Valette.
Of course.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you just see her like steaming, basically, like
Listen,
like
Fenric is more than a trainer. He's a ace in the hole for me. With my conjure powers, I could impersonate him. I would be studying him very closely. That way I could actually infiltrate the house, and if there are words being passed back and forth, I can incite them to quite something more. Maybe even do something violent myself with some of their men. If drastic measures are needed, I have prepared for them.
Yes,
Don't see
that
how
is a
you
good
can,
plan.
How can you possess him? He's a giant.
Yes.
Much taller
well,
than yourself.
you know,
I don't think you need
Lord
to know
Martell
the details,
himself.
but merely need to know that it's something that can be done.
How
You need not say-
how does the process work?
You need not say more.
You remember the terrible stories you heard as a child that scare you while you were going to bed at your friend's house? It's pretty close to that, actually.
Vyse. What else did we learn from Francine? Was
She knows I am an Allomancer, but she doesn't know the type. But I fear she has a fairly good guess. But I think I have the same kind of guess for her. I believe her to be a seeker.
You think that she is an Elementor as well?
I believe so.
It could be important information if you could confirm that in some way. No, it is more important to get her on our side. Then she'll tell us herself in good time.
I think they she said that Postwick has been having them the guards being trained as well. It seems like the idea that something might be happening soon is common throughout the nobility then.
I'm worried about what Sigarius? What the hell is the name of that obligator?
Saragius.
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 Is that how you say that? Saragius.
Yep.
Personally, I'm worried about something that Saragius said, that there was a house war brewing in Luthendale. Although looking at the house war here was our plan. If it's being spread from another city, that is beyond our control and maybe not in our best interests.
Here is a question. How does our head of security feel about leaving our guards in someone else's hands for training?
Haven't even talked to Evelyn about it yet, have you?
That's what I'm asking
Is
them.
this
I'm
the
like, have
scene
you
where
talked to
Evelyn
Evelyn?
comes stomping up towards you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's been there for all of what, like a couple hours.
Yeah, so we get the usual because this is like a Game of Thrones TV show. You never see that dude's dong. The guy who's always hanging out with Dragon Queen, even though he's been on the show for like 3 seasons, never see that. But constant butt shots of Evelyn storming up the side of the wall, up the staircase in her tight pants, completely furious. It looks like she's getting ready to talk to Vyse, but she stops. I mean, this is her normal talk to Vyse face. She stops in front of Odalys and Arturo and is like, "My lady, my lord, is there some way I haven't been serving you? Some way that I need to be replaced by this Fenric? Houseless Fenric?
Blaze just gives him a look like I told you so.
I turn to I turn to KinSay and I say, "Husband, did you not warn her that you are bringing in additional help? He should be serving under you to relieve some of the pressure."
Look, he's not permanent. You need to relax. Also, he has very special skills that you do not. Now, understand.
So she like settles back on her heels and crosses her arms and says, "Of course, my lord. I understand, but he's come here and taken control of all of the guards already. They follow him almost instinctively because he's a noble and I'm not."
We all got to do things we don't want to do, okay?
If you want me to keep control of this house's guards rather than handling them to some mercenary who doesn't even belong to this house, I think you'll have to put him in his place.
Fenric will not be around much longer.
He said that he'll be here for at least a month and probably longer.
A
Well-
month is possible. You're right.
In a way of speaking, a month.
Husband, perhaps you should have a word with him. Make it clear who is in charge and what his duties are and what they are not.
You fear you're losing your grasp on the house guard after a few hours with this man?
Frankly, my lord, yes, I am. He can be extremely convincing. I fear he is far more cunning than I had anticipated. When I had
Then
heard
perhaps
that he
you
was
should-
in town, I had thought at some point I might have to kill him, but,
You may still have your chance.
well, he is no mere thug off the street. He is every bit as noble as he should be, even if he no longer has a house.
Would you like me to speak to him myself?
I think that would be wise, my lady. Let him know who's in charge here.
Fine. And I immediately sweep down from where we were standing and just immediately go into the yard.
Yeah, as he sees you approaching, Fenric has everybody stop and form up into this new really efficient patrol line. So normally your patrols go out in box formation, lots of parade ground stuff, and he's got them in war formation where they're all standing in echelons, and they're all out with their spears in a triangle formation so that they could charge towards somebody and crash a wave into people. And they're all in saluting form, and he's like, "Aye, my lady, I'm glad to see that you are well. May I present your own house guards?" And the house guards are all slam their swords or spears against their chests in a formation salute. It looks pretty damn good, considering he's only had a few hours to work on them.
Yeah, I nod approval to them for what they did while ignoring him for just a minute. I'm trying to basically I'm it's the first step in putting him in his place is that his work is more important than he is, kind of thing. It's a mind game. So yeah. Then after I nod to them and in fact I'll then dismiss them. You're dismissed. I need to
Yeah, he immediately turns and is like, "You're dismissed, you miserable pieces of garbage."
I already Fenric, I had already dismissed them. What you just stated was redundant.
My lady, there's a proper chain of command.
Indeed there is. That is Indeed. And that is what I've come to speak with you about. As you are here as a trainer, not a replacement for the captain of my guard. I have seen what you are doing, and it is upsetting to me.
My lady, Can you explain further into what way my performance has upset you?
What you are doing here is almost... Well, I would not be one to be throwing accusations around, but your former employer, Halfstag, may have sent you here in order to undermine my authority, and I will not have that. You're here as a favor to help train. These men will take orders from you on the training grounds and not on the battlefield.
So he looks extremely offended when you say that and says, "My lady, House Holstag is my current employer, yes, but I have been ordered for the following month to serve you as I would Holstag. You are my employer."
Well then, I'm glad that it's settled. In that case, I am your employer, and you shall directly report to my captain of the guard, Evelyn.
Oh, I gotta figure out if this is just a test of will or if you're trying to, like, open a debate with him. Can you give me a little bit more? I mean, so...
I don't want this to be... I'm giving him an order.
No
This is
debate? Okay, so...
This is not a debate.
It's spirit versus spirit here, in a test of will.
No, I've already spent spirit.
That's very bad then, because he's got 4 spirit. And,
That's okay.
He has the trait low initiative. So I think I'm going to take a die away from him, because he's not really one to act independently.
Well, I definitely have ambitious house to fall back on, as per always, which would bring me up to 3. But I don't really like, I don't really like those odds.
It's 3 versus 3. We'll see who comes out ahead.
Wait, hold on. I can, can't I tap Zinc to give myself a boost here?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 versus 3.
All right, he just has a nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Wow. Okay, so you can apply 3 complications to him, or you can apply 1 group complication to the whole of House Holstag's employees.
Thinking of complications is the hardest part of this game I found.
Well, we can ask chat for suggestions, and of course the
Yeah.
other players.
Absolutely. Like,
Would someone like put in his place be good?
Subservient or something
Yeah.
like
I mean,
No.
if you wanted to, you could apply that to all of Holstag's employees. Like, now that you've put Fenric in his place and he's a nobleman, maybe the story gets around that Holstag's employees are your employees.
Yeah,
I kind of like that. I kind of
Yeah.
like that.
All
I
right.
like that.
So let me apply that to Fenric and to Wolfram, that your house is my house.
Yes.
That's going to be the name of the trait that they just got temporarily until we hit a sufficiently long breather.
Now, do I have to spend another one of my
No, this wasn't an opposed roll for a contest. You weren't purchasing anything with that. You weren't like
Okay, gotcha.
requesting the fates like divert him towards you. You were literally just like doing the standoff thing, and maybe there's like electricity shooting out of your eyes. This is like a Dragon Ball Z charge up scene, and he got wrecked.
Got it.
Because while he might be stronger in spirit normally than you, it's not his place to like step out of line. And you definitely called upon a little bit of extra energy to give you determination. Yeah,
Yep.
So he gives you the same salute the other house cards just gave. He says, "I'll work with your Lady Evelyn. I should warn you, Lady Odalys. Evelyn is, well, she is technically lower in rank than me, but I will do as you wish."
Technically, she may be. However, as you are not currently directly in my employ and merely on loan, It's a bit of a gray area, you could say.
Of course. And so he
Thank you
muscles
for
away.
your
He turns
time.
around and does his whole body and just like he does that thing people with giant muscles have to do because their arms don't go down to the sides anymore. Not that I know anything about that. Yeah. He definitely looks like if he wasn't already a lurcher, he would almost certainly be a pewter arm. Yeah. So what's the next step?
Okay.
That
was taken care of.
You've taken care of Evelyn. You've taken care, and in doing so, you took care of your Fenric problem. Do we maybe see KinSay like on the ramparts, like watching him and maybe drooling a bit, like, that meat's gonna be so tasty when I eat his flesh. He's gonna enjoy those muscles.
I could finally get a nice snack. And I'm like intently, I'm now spending time like studying him.
Okay. Well, so far you've got at least an hour on him.
I think if Valette and Vyse like are dismissed, Vyse is just basically gonna get an earful of like, that is such bullshit. Why the heck do I have to apologize to that freaking idiot? And like she's basically complaining, just spouting off about how she has to apologize to Wolfram.
So do we want to combine the fact that you are hosting a get-together for the major houses, Venture, Mercer, which isn't really a major house, but now that they have a Mistborn in play, they've kind of been jumped up. Ulfstag, Trelbina, and Martell. Do we want to have that as the scene where we begin laying political groundwork for House Wars?
Yeah, I think so. And I think there also
Okay.
needs to be a little bit of, I think Odalys definitely knows about the history between Arturo and, I'm bad with names. What's her name?
Risha Mercer.
Risha, yeah. Definitely knows about that history there.
Like they were promised to each other.
Yeah, like,
before she got sent away.
because basically they were promised to each other. She gets sent away.
Oh man,
And
do we like have a quick flashback where like
Young-
your husband
young-
is like slapping you in the face? He's like, "You're nothing like Risha."
Oh.
Nothing. Oh, sorry. What does KinSay sound like? Can you say something like Arturo real quick?
You're nothing like you.
You're nothing like you like Risha. She's far more beautiful than you would ever be, girl. Can't believe our families forced us to align. And then maybe you're like stabbing him, and or no, you poisoned him, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
he's drinking from a goblet. He's like, gargle, 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 gargle.
Yeah, literally smacks her, then just like.
yeah. Yeah, so sure, I think, but like definitely like there, I think she was definitely aware of that, like, because that happened, what, 15 years ago?
20.
So it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long
So
time ago.
it was when, that was before
Yeah, so
Odalys
I've
was
never
even of
met.
age. So I had not met her either, but I would have been aware of that history before Odalys had married Arturo. There's no way she could have not known about that history.
Yeah, I assume that he used it as like a comparison point between you and her constantly, and that you didn't measure her up to her in any way, you powerless noble woman. No allomancy, clearly from a dead end house.
No cool powers at all.
None.
Yeah. I assume that was like something
Zero
he brought up
powers.
constantly. He just
And that
like
was
tried
like
to
every
beat you
time.
to...
Every time it's like one step closer to me murdering you.
Yeah.
Because I could not use my powers in front of him, especially every time he rubbed it in. It's like, well, going back to being vapid.
Well, yeah, that's the only power you could use is copper mining that vapid out again and being like,
Yeah.
oh, of course, whatever. Poisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there a scene between Odalys and KinSay we want to do talking about Risha
Yeah, I think
before
so.
the party
because-
starts? Maybe it's like Arturo like buttoning up his cufflinks before the party, right? Like maybe
Or
something
yeah,
like that.
and I'm like,
Or-
now, Odalys, I want to make sure that we are being very intimate throughout the evening. Very
Sorry,
close.
Kelsey, you wanted to set the scene here.
Oh,
No,
I
it-
was just gonna say, like, I felt like it was that I was gonna bring it up, and like when you said buttoning up the buttoning up the cuff links, I like the picture in my mind of Odalys coming over to put the cufflinks onto.
Okay.
I'm like
yeah.
fiddling with them, and I'm like with my left. Like,
Yeah,
never get
and
the one
I
done with my
come
left
over
hand.
And I start doing it for you, so we're standing like face to face that close, and I say, I'm afraid you may have made a very big mistake by inviting Risha. You know that Arturo was betrothed to her before my time and before yours. I worry that you're
Yes,
she-
it's not the best situation, but it's one I've been in before and came out of fine. I don't want you to overly worry, but we do need to be cautious. You'll need to be clingy if you can tonight, my dear. And
I kind of scoff a little bit as I'm like fiddling with your sleeve still.
yes, make sure I don't get time alone with the woman. I'm fairly sure I can push off any talks that she wants to have about our past, as it should be quite uncomfortable as long as all the other houses are there.
I suppose it is only fair that I take my turn to be the jealous one.
Don't worry. There's no reason to be jealous of this one. She terrifies me.
I stroke my hand down your face and say, I'm not truly jealous, but it's a fact, you see.
Well, make sure it's just the right level. We know as an allomancer, she will be able to hear, see everything going on very clearly. We'll need a perfect act this evening. We've had 10 years of practice. Let's make this a perfect night.
And
still
I
can't
just
get this damn thing on. Get over it.
I finished fixing it because there's like that moment where you're like in the middle of doing something and you stop while you're having a conversation and it's like, okay, I finished doing it. Yeah. Okay. I think we are ready.
So I do need someone in the house to have arranged the party.
Nice.
I did have an idea for a scene if we want to do
Okay,
something
yeah, let's talk
that.
about it then.
That something Vyse would do it. He would want to find a moment to pull Evelyn aside.
Okay. So let me ask before we do this, what is the level of partiness? So a level 3 would be like a small regular ball get together. 4 is going to be a grand ball, like the kind you would need to host in every few weeks on Luthadel, and 5 would be like amazing blowout, something you would host for the Lord Ruler.
Sounds
It's
like
a small thing.
3.
We'll go for
Yeah.
a 3.
Okay, so you're not trying to impress anybody. It's just
Yeah.
okay. And you want to meet with Evelyn?
Yes.
Yeah. When is this happening in between the two scenes? In fact, how soon is this party happening after we leave Fenric, biting his own dust?
Probably a couple days to a week.
All right, so
I was
we'll
thinking
throw
probably
a
a week.
short breather in there, of like 3 days.
Do I recover my spent
Yeah, I
resources?
think you guys will recover something. Let me get the exact.
Because I have 1 spent point of resources and 1 standard burden.
The breathers in the narrator section are 447. Using short breather, you recover half of any lost health if you do nothing, half of any lost reputation or willpower, and half of spent standings. So you'll recover the 1 standing resource you spent, right?
But don't recover from burdens. Well, the
I
rioting
think
lasts
you only
an hour,
recover
so
from
it's already-
burdens on a long breather.
Well, the rioting only lasted an hour, so it's gone now, right?
Oh,
Yeah, that
definitely.
wasn't
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
burden.
That was a complication.
Oh, right. I got confused.
Yep. Okay, so all of you, should have recovered any of your spents because you only ever spent one. And, when are you talking to Evelyn between these two time frames?
Probably, like, either the day of or the day after when we had the thing of, like, establishing her in power.
All right. Yeah, now that, I mean, we're talking so much about Ronda Rousey that, did you watch, I want to ask, like, in general, if you watched Fast and Furious 7, where she was an actress in that?
No, I did not.
I
Oh.
didn't
you
realize
missed
that.
out.
But
I didn't know that. Yeah.
She was one of the like head guard. Just Google, I guess, for Ronda Rousey Furious 7. She's wearing this really awesome like gold dress, and
Oh,
I
I
think
see it
that
now,
what
yeah.
we see is when you come in to talk to Evelyn, they're like fitting her with a similar dress, and she's just like sees you coming in, Vyse, and is just totally disgusted, like, ugh, Vyse. Well, I guess if I'm going to wear something like this, I might as well be interrupted by you. And she looks to some of the serving ska and are like, get out, we'll finish this later. Leave the pins where they're at.
I just step out of the doorway and let them leave. And just, like, sort of nod, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is important.
Yes, close the door, Vyse. I have something to speak to you about.
Alright, he closed the door, and he's like, you go first.
So she raises an eyebrow towards you and is like, is that in order, my lord?
If you want.
Very well. And she kind of turns away from you, and you can see she's either trembling or, like, shaking in rage. One of the two. Hard to tell from behind. And she's just like, I heard from someone I knew in the town. There was an old man who had his shoulder broken. Did you have something to do with that?
How long ago was this, man?
That was. Oh, you're asking her?
Yeah,
She's
how long
like,
ago?
About 5 weeks ago.
Does that line up with the
It does.
time frame? Oh.
Yep.
oh dear.
If I said yes, what would you say in return?
So she just looks at you, turns around, and says, I'm honestly a bit surprised. I had thought Valette was the one who would be protecting Ska freedoms. Your uncle and aunt don't seem to particularly care about how their Ska are treated, and as a Ska myself, I'm very in tune with such an attitude. But is it something that you share?
He nods and he's like, yes, in fact, Ska freedom is what I came to talk to you about.
Have you ever considered lending some support to the resistance?
I don't know much about the resistance. But I suppose it
Not
shouldn't
that I
be
know, as she like turns away from you. Not that I know anyone in the resistance, but
Right, of course.
I could put you in touch with someone.
Someone that you know.
A friend of a friend.
He sort of shakes his head. It doesn't matter. He's like, but what I came to talk to you about is if we do take down House Traubina, we will have an influx of Ska. They will need somewhere to go, and I would prefer it to be not here.
Well, if you were to send the Ska to your father's plantation and some of them were to be lost along the way, perhaps they could join the resistance forces outside the city?
Perhaps.
So, yeah, she turns to you and looks kind of hopeful and is like, well, are you in? Can I count on you to lend some support to my friend of a friend?
He sort of sticks out his hand to, like, shake. And he's like, yes, make an agreement.
So she, like, pulls you into a hug and is like, oh, thank the Lord Ruler. I've been hoping for so long that someone could help us. You're a better man than I thought, Vyse.
I'm sure
Certainly
the
a
others
better
will
man than your
understand. Well, I'm sure Valette will understand.
I'm not so sure. Valette, yeah, like she unhugs you and stands uncomfortably
Unhug.
close.
Hashtag new word.
Unhug. I unhug you.
Unhug. Yep. Best new word of the day.
Did you say unhug?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the best word. So, yeah, she's just standing uncomfortably within your normal, like, radius of nervousness, and she's just smiling and holding your hand. It's a bit similar to some of your recent encounters with Francine, but less overtly, like, seductive and more just, like, happy that you're on her side, and she says, I don't mean to speak poorly of your sister, but she believes Ska to be like cattle. She's all for Ska freedom as long as it eventually happens. She doesn't understand the here and the now, that Ska need whatever they can get. We should talk later about what you can offer. You're the house financier. There's so much you could do in so many areas to help us out. I mean, to help a friend out.
Right. Oh, I'd much like to meet this friend someday.
Well, perhaps I can arrange a meeting. After the party tonight, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Alright, what's the next scene we come in on?
I think I kind of have a scene with Odalys.
Okay.
All right.
Where are you, and what are you doing? And when
I think
are
it's
you
maybe
doing
like
it?
I'm not sure how long it takes for noble women to get ready, but like sometime during that,
while.
yeah, like pre-party, like everybody's getting ready, kind of like thing, and then
Wow.
So I think
we got Evelyn fan art here.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Erosido says he's gonna color it later, but holy shit.
Oh,
That attitude
yeah.
right there. Wow, he's really good at getting people with
That's
attitude.
hot.
Oh my
Love it.
gosh.
Yep, that's
So good.
very close to what I imagined her as, so I am fucking impressed as hell.
Yes.
I love it.
I love the scars
again-
on her arms.
Yeah, that's
Once again, Erosido is MVP of the session.
yeah, man, great lines, man.
Oh,
I can't wait to see the color version. I'm really
Gorgeous.
excited.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Seriously, Erosido, once again, you are the MVP. So
Mhm.
All the bonus XP.
we should add him to the vote at the end. So we start getting these are the drawings.
Yeah, he
Gets
gets
2
free
advancements for good
advancements,
art.
of course.
He'll just win every time though. That's the problem.
So yeah, I think it's yeah. So during the time that everybody's like kind of just getting ready, you in your room, like you hear a knock, just like a like it's like light but forceful, like just you can probably tell it's who it is just because it's like she's trying to be like kind of respectful, but it's still like.
Yeah, and like I think that like there's someone doing my hair or whatever, and I sigh and I wave her away, and I'm like, "Come in, Valette."
Yep, and then so
You've got like half of your head is like super fancy, like all woven together, and the other's just like a puffy like mess.
Yep. Well, it's probably like just flat, just it does nothing, and then this side is like wavy and whatever, and beautiful, and then this side is just. Anyway, yeah. So I waved my maid away, and I called let Valette in.
Yeah, so she comes in, and then she's wearing like a gown that's like pretty like it's definitely like nice. It's a noble woman's like gown, but like she has her own thing. Like maybe she's like the bottom of it, like where it would usually go like really long and like you have to like pick it up. She's like cut it or like had someone hem it or something, so it's not as long and just like has her own like flair thing to it. Like it's black. I mean, there's like some purple or something in it, and so she comes in and she's like, and then she kind of like leans against the door frame and. Do I really have to apologize to that man today?
Absolutely.
What?
You know, when I was your age, I was being married off to a man nearly 20 years my elder. You're very lucky. All we're asking you to do is apologize.
But he doesn't even care that for the apology. He just wants to do it to embarrass me.
That is correct. It's all about politics and posturing. Have you spent these last 10 years in our hall and learned nothing? Are you still that country noble girl that we brought in? No. You know what goes on in this city. Swallow your pride for a moment, Valette. You do not have to mean a word of it. Just convince him that you do.
I mean, is there anything we can do with it to... Can I apologize in a way that'll help us or anything? I just hate to
You
give in so
apologizing
much.
is helping us. Have you missed everything that your uncle has already arranged for you?
My uncle.
This
Christ.
is... I slap her. Just right. No warning at all.
Wow.
I
Wow.
do not want to
Okay.
hear that doubt in your voice.
Yeah, I think you just get that rebellious, just like glare, and there's like her face is a little red now, but like, fine. I'll apologize. It'll be perfect. Everything will be fine.
I understand how upset you are at this, and it rackles me as well. But you need to know what we are doing is for the good of House Martell. And you saying these words does not hurt you in any way. It may seem harsh now, but you are young yet, alright? It will be fine. Everything will be fine. And I want you to remember that your uncle and I have your best interest at heart. And if I hear another disparaging comment about him, the next time we'll leave a mark.
Fine. I think like you notice that her hair hasn't been done yet.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think I noticed that.
Yeah.
And I think I think I actually bring my hand up close to your face again and like run my hand through your hair, just right up in your personal space, and say, go finish getting ready. I don't need you to bring further disgrace to this house by looking a mess.
Right. Wouldn't want that. Like she does like a little curtsy thing. Like it is respectful, but it's also like, look at me.
Very flippant. Yeah.
Yeah, and then leaves. Oh my god, that was so good.
Okay.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. Thank you for slapping my character.
That whole scene was way too good. I
You
couldn't
did.
find anywhere to make a moose and squirrel joke.
Putting everywhere in their place tonight. Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like, as people have been saying in chat, girls, they run the world. Like, this whole campaign is so Beyonce right now.
Yeah. The entire like party dynamic has gotten like changed up this session. A major.
I mean, yeah, a lot of you are like compromising yourself. I think Odalys is the only. I mean, even then, you've like opened yourself up to Vyse and Valette by letting them know about KinSay. So you're all like taking big leaps of faith, and we'll see if it pays off. I want to do, if you guys think we have time for it, one more scene, like maybe the opening of the party, not go too deep into anything, so we still have time to do like a post show.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, we got like 20 minutes left till the
Yeah, but we have a lot of advancements to talk about afterwards.
hour.
By my calculations, everyone's gonna get at least 5.
Oh, nice.
You guys have been hitting a lot of like
Let
personal
me
goals.
open up the spending advancement table and I'll look at this during this.
So yeah, tell me what the opening of the party looks like as Postwick Trelbina arrives. What does he see when he comes through the front door?
There's a large, like the happy birthday signs. It says "Sorry, Postwick." Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
And then also, the party store didn't have the right stuff, so we have a bunch of Hanukkah decorations everywhere.
I was gonna give everybody advancements for staying in character, but I'm feeling like those need to get revoked now.
I'd rather get
On a
my
more
giggles.
serious note, what does it look like?
So it's not as fancy as the last party that we had.
Yeah,
It's
way more casual.
Yeah, more casual. That's a good word for it. I think there are, instead of being like a grand ball with like a buffet table and whatever, it's more like there's a small band and then there's like...
Yeah, we have some of our ska like performing like a dance and like to music, and it's like a smaller table, right?
Yeah, and then there's like... Yeah, there's like actual like table seating, like seating tables where like a dinner party kind of a thing, instead of it being like a gigantic ball, and like there is entertainment instead of dancing,
The bread is not hollowed out.
Solid
there's
bread.
Actual bread. Yeah, I'm thinking it's like a dinner party basically. Like you just invite a bunch, because it's really small. We just only invite like a few nobles over, and it's just like hey, we got some entertainment. We're having some wine, some dinner, just casual chit chat among friendly nobles. It's just very mellow.
Yeah, I feel like instead of having like we paid the amount that would be for like a medium-sized ball, but instead we're having like a much more intimate, fancier dinner party for a smaller total number of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like a lot of the lighting is like off, and like so it like some of the room is unlit, and then there's like lots more small candles and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes it feels more intimate.
Yeah. Like
So-
directing people towards the smaller area with the lighting by yeah.
All of your guests are showing up at essentially the same time. As Postwick enters, in this very ridiculously gaudy, clearly he's got metal all over this outfit. could practically be a terraceman's servant with the amount of metal he's wearing.
Fenrich.
Just like bracers and arm guards and like a crown. And like
That's a
knee
bit
pads, like metal
presumptuous.
knee pad plates over like an
What?
evil Knievel kind of suit.
Okay, now I'm just jealous.
He's like, this is like very, very strange, but extremely like forward wave avant-garde fashion. Like this
Digging
is
it.
the kind of stuff that you might see in Luthadel in a few years because they're behind on all of the trends. And so the announcement comes from Gare. Yes, approaching is Lord Wolfram Hovstag, Lord Postwick Trebina, and the two of them enter side by side. Lord Milos Hovstag, and accompanied by Lady Francine Trebina. And you see Francine like stalking in her like military gear. So it's weird because now Evelyn's the one in the dress in the background, and like Francine is now dressed like Evelyn was. So it's like they've done a costume swap. And Francine is not even stopping to like take Milos Holstag's hand as he tries to escort her in there. And he looks very embarrassed. He's a very buff version of Vyse. He's like a well-built young man, probably about 16, but definitely very socially awkward. Like, Francine, we need to walk in together. And then he like starts to jog after her.
Yeah, I'll like try to like smooth. I say, Milos, it's your first time in the house, is it not? What do you think of the
yes,
the
it is.
banister?
Please excuse me, my lord Arturo. I'm afraid that my escort has left me.
Probably lady business.
Oh,
Maybe you should give her a moment.
So he's just like, oh, is Odalys there, like laughing? So
yeah, no,
he
'cause
looks
I'm
very
like-
red-faced. He's like, yes,
I'm like on Arturo's arm.
Yeah.
lady business, of course, my lord. Very wise.
Yes. I'd like you to thank you, first of all, for making it to the little soiree. It's going to be quite a lovely time. I believe you are seated right over here. And I like sit him down, and then I will fill up those seats around him so he can't sit near Francine.
Awesome. Yeah, do you get like lower-ranking noblemen from
Yeah.
somebody else's party
Yeah,
to sit
yeah.
next to him? Okay. And then I think that the last thing we see for the night is Lady Risha Mercer entering in the same dress we saw her in before, the depiction of like sunset, with the sunset happening behind her. Like the clouds, the ash falling clouds have like had the light left from them, and it's now fully dark outside, and the mist is like creeping behind her. As we know, mist won't enter a residence, but there's like a wall of mist as she enters in her mist cloak.
Yeah.
And so it's like she appears out of nowhere mysteriously. And Gara's like, Lady Risha Mercer. And that's like the to be continued scene as she strolls in. And I think that like she stops at the top of the steps and like looks over at everyone very haughtily, like, yes, this is who I have to rule over. Yeah. So, we have advancements to hand out and votes to be voted on. So if you're watching at home, which I assume all of you are, go ahead and click on the vote right now. It's in Twitch chat. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and open up the description section of the video. Give a vote there. Which character sacrificed the most for the group today?
Ooh, we got
I
a
want to
3-3
point out,
going.
Valette hasn't given that apology yet, so don't pre-assume that. I know
she did
my
get
vote.
slapped in the face, though.
I did
She
get slapped in the
get-
face.
But was it really a sacrifice?
I really enjoyed doing
I'm
that.
a little
though.
confused as to what Valette's motives are anymore. She was a little too confident to stride into that three-way. I was like, for sure, this is never going to work. There's no way Francine can seduce both of them. And you're both like, no, we go full ham. We do this.
As,
I'm like,
as
well,
the saying
okay.
goes, it's not gay if it's in a three-way.
It's still incest, though. Definitely still incest.
Yeah, that is actually at the end of that. Doesn't
Still
take away the
incest.
incest.
For now, this session is the next to last one. We'll be discussing trying to either move the show to a new night or continue it in a little while. Virgil and I have a commitment on Monday nights after the end of this show, where we will be on twitch.tv/Henleys. I'm signed up for that for 4 weeks, so if we come back, we'll talk about it. Let's talk about advancements now instead.
Yeah.
So the whole group gets 4 advancements for accomplishing goals, pushing forward the story, keeping in character, and making some critical choices. An additional advancement goes to both Valette and KinSay for willingly putting themselves into compromising positions where they will almost certainly get called on their bullshit. Odalys gets 1 advancement for achieving something vital to the crew. And 2 advancements go to Vyse because you are just in some incredibly deep shit. Like, you're fucked at this point.
You're gonna need them. That's why.
Good to know.
Yeah, you're gonna need them. You've thrown in with the rebellion, and you've also allowed Francine to manipulate you on a level that will almost certainly come back to haunt you.
Mm-hmm.
How about let's talk about this episode real quick. I feel like every episode seems to be getting sexier. Like we're just more butt stuff every time, like butt touching anime
Oh, I
style.
can't wait for week like 60 of this one
Yeah.
where it's just full.
I'm just gonna start like eating the sexiest people I can find.
I
Yep.
really didn't expect that.
I
It's not.
appreciate that.
It's not that it's not part of Mistborn. Like there definitely are some romantic scenes, but also definitely some like, God, what was her name? The one who's always hanging around trees.
Oh,
Alrion.
Elrion. Yeah,
Alrion. I feel like Valette and Alrion have way more in common than they should.
no, they really do. They really do.
I love the idea. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but when you read the books, I love the idea of Alrion because she's just like, "What, bitch? Please give me everything I want."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she ever failed to achieve one of her objectives, unlike literally everyone else in the book who has to struggle and fail at some point. Alrion is literally just like, money, 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 money!
Pretty much.
Yeah, let's talk about this episode then, beyond like the sexy parts. And obviously,
What else is there?
we've talked way
Sexy
too
parts
much
were
about the
pretty
fan
great.
art parts.
Well,
Like,
I'm super excited about the prospect of being able to switch bodies. I was super stoked to like set that up, although
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
mighty costly, and the cost has not even been, approached to being known yet. But it did serve as a really good setup for some stuff. So I'm super excited about that. And also, I really did like that we got just like trickling information from each scene. It's like really slow leak of
And
like,
we
wait,
put all
what's
the
going
pieces
on here?
together.
Mhm.
That
That was well done.
was
Definitely.
very
Yeah.
well done, I thought,
Thanks,
Arthur.
Arthur. Appreciate it.
And I think it couldn't have been done by you if the group as a whole wasn't paying attention so much and doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you
I
didn't
mean,
have a
so-
GM turn for this session, so like, good
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
yeah,
excellent.
GM turn is definitely going to be on Friday at 8 Eastern for any viewers that want to watch it. No players. But we've still got at least, I mean, we're partway through Objective 2, and we've got 3, 4, and 5 to set up twists,
Mhm.
turns, secrets.
Plenty of time left to screw
Right,
us
yeah.
over.
So
That'd be good. Next
yeah,
time we
if
can
you
just jump right
viewers
into it.
have something you want to say, show up there and be like, "Oh, I really want X to happen." I'll probably be like, "All right, let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
Just be like,
Yeah,
oh, I
guys.
really want Vyse to get all the money and power in the world and become the new Lord Ruler.
It's one of the best ways to get involved in
definitely.
the story of the show and really, have an impact. It's really fun to see that stuff come into play when you get involved like that. So I highly suggest watching that stream.
Yeah, definitely.
If he has
I wanna
anything like really, threatening to KinSay, just at Virgil Levenger's the Twitter. Make sure. Yeah, definitely check that out. I'm excited about the party and everything. Are there any? We didn't invite the obligator, did we?
No.
No.
Obligators just show up.
Yeah,
There
they're
will
gonna
be
show up.
obligators there, but we didn't invite any.
I mean, if you want to retroactively have Saragius show up, it's certainly something that could have been arranged with no role at all.
I bet you he will, whether we invite him or not.
Oh, let's turn on the cams. I mean, if you want that to be a thing, he'll definitely be there. As Canton of Finance, he's got to keep your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, is that something we want to have? Do we want to have Saragius at the party?
I'd prefer to have him there than any other.
I mean, there's gonna be more than one obligator.
Well, right.
They
but
basically like have an obligator shadow every noble to make sure all of the deals get properly recorded.
Yeah.
I would say that it would be nice to have one that we can at least count on.
Okay, so you're putting your hopes in Saragius. Got it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't. I didn't. I don't think we had it. We didn't really specify what I said about afterwards during that talk,
No, I don't
and I
think
don't
we-
think it was much other than, look, we have to talk about it later.
I know.
Yeah.
And then we didn't.
So
talk about it
maybe Odalys like send an invitation to Saragius, like thank you
I'm
for
like,
bribing.
God. Oh dear.
I really appreciate that the players here are so awesome that they were paying attention during other people's scenes
Oh yeah.
enough to notice the secrets coming together and like piece together the beginnings of a house war that they have their hands in. It's nice for someone to not just be like, "Oh, what was happening? I didn't hear that. What's going on?"
Got your
We
back.
managed to
Ike.
keep this really engaging, even when I'm on the back seat. Like, and
Yeah.
that's not just you. That's also Tux and SciFri, because like watching Vyse and Valette do their thing is really entertaining.
Yeah, it's good
I
stuff.
guess I
So-
should say Lord Ruler. Oh boy, Rust and Ruin.
So
They're
Yeah,
in,
well,
they're
it's
in
all-
deep.
it's-
They're
yeah.
in real deep.
It's just really interesting to see, especially like how we started off with in the character creation, and then even after only 2 sessions, where things have gone is just very, very cool.
mhm.
Holy shit. Wait. Oh, never mind.
What?
Could we could like take over the freaking obligator, because I know that they're a Condor, right?
In what
That's
way
like a
do you
thing.
mean? You
No,
can take him over?
there's no way you could do that.
You
Can
mean you
anyone-
want to try to riot him?
There's no way that you would be.
Valette would have to be really strong in order to do that.
Oh yeah, I guess I don't know the rules of how much it takes.
You would know that it's much stronger than Valette currently has.
Okay.
Certainly, that's a goal Valette could work towards. But remember, you can only spend advancements during long breathers, and we haven't had one again yet. So,
Right? Yeah.
there will probably be one at a midpoint during the next session.
Okay, so that
a
definitely
post-party.
leaves me of a bunch of things to think about what I want to do about this Condra knowledge.
Yeah.
Do I want to go in deeper with the like niece and nephew and Odalys?
Mm-hmm.
Might get crazy. Things might get crazy. I have to decide where my
Yeah,
true
they might
loyalties
get
lie.
crazy.
Uh-huh.
It's a good
Valette?
question.
The Obligator Destroyer?
Yeah. Just increase my zinc by a ton and just riot everyone. I do have affect crowds. I could riot everyone at this party.
Well, how
You
God,
definitely should.
how do we
You
do
should
that?
definitely
I
try
want to
that.
look into like how does it say here? Blessings.
Yeah, there's
multiple
rules under
blessings.
both Zinc and
There we go.
Contra about how to do this.
It's
Um,
really hard.
What for obligators?
No,
No,
for
for-
Contra.
Contra.
He's a Condra, so you could take over his freaking actions. As
But
a-
then we'd have to kill him. But that's out of character knowledge anyway. But
that's how we could kill him. Otherwise, it'd be nigh impossible.
Oh my god, I just looked at the Evelyn picture again, and I noticed she's got a cut on her eyebrow with the eyebrow
I
raised.
know,
God
I
damn.
know. I saw that. That was the first thing I mentioned. It's so amazing.
I feel like she could be like a half elf just from this picture. Like this could definitely be a D&D picture of like a half elf.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's just like, yo, get the fuck away from my forest. My forest.
It's really freaking sweet.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if this needs to be colored in because just the eyes are like freaking me out. I'm like, whoa,
I know.
so great.
Do colored, and the colored ones are amazing.
Oh, look at that. Here's our Schiller right here trying to be like, yeah, I want those colored. Yeah, he's just like, wait, where's my colored Vyse fan art?
It's a disease. It's a disease. Once you get it, it's just like
Once you sink your teeth into that fan art game,
can't.
There's no
You just
going
can't.
back.
I literally can't even.
It's like commissioning an artist, but you don't even have to pay them anything.
Wow.
Well, don't say that, because then they're going to
Well,
expect me to start paying them.
the
And
one
I
time-
literally do not have enough dollars to pay for all the artists on this show. It's
The one
not
time I
Oh.
paid someone to make a piece of art for me, I never got the piece of art, and just like
My
That sucks.
avatar that I use
The
on
money was
Twitter and
just gone.
Twitch and stuff is commissioned.
I have commissioned a number of pieces of art, but I've made fan art of my own characters before. That's a thing.
yeah, I
not
like to
good at
make
drawing,
fan art of my own campaigns, like I did. I mean, remember I did the Jax fan art was like the first Star Wars fan art we ever got. I made it.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
That was amazing too. It was just like a quick chop with Photoshop, but it was still
I
really
haven't drawn anything in like 4 years. Like I used to be good at it, but the talent's just lost.
Mm.
Okay. Let's talk our way out of here. We are all streamers.
Yes.
So
True.
follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Let's talk about who we are and what we do. We'll go first with Kelsa.
Hi, I'm Kelsa. I think my camera is not working, even though it's working. Anyway, I can be found at Kelsa on Twitter and twitch.tv/KelsaDelphi, which this thing here is me. Yep. Anyway, I stream a once a month Dresden Files game on Sunday mornings, which is going to be next in April, but I have not pinned down the day. We may actually do 2 in April in honor of my birthday because I want to play more, and that's my right? I also guest on this show, on Eric Bulgaris' show, and other places, and I tweet about them when I do things, and you can find me there.
All right, cool. Virgil, who are you? Where can people find you, and what do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm Virgil, also known here on the Twitch as Zircon5. If you want to head over to my channel, you could go ahead and click that follow button, and you could catch more fun roleplay stuff. And additionally, artistic endeavors by myself, playing music, doing art, and playing random video games from time to time. I just got the Trine trilogy, and
Oh,
I think
really?
I want to try
Trine
to
is
get
real
I
together
think maybe
some
we
people
should
to
team up
do.
sometime.
Yeah, and grab a third and do
I
a
do
try
like-
Not that
stream.
I like being the wizard, but you know,
Try stream.
wizard's got a whiz.
Wizard is the worst character. All you
What?
do is
Wizard
make
is literally the
boxes.
best.
All you do
character.
is draw boxes on the
I
screen.
love drawing stuff though. I'm literally like
Yeah.
box, table, box,
Jump.
box.
Yeah, I can literally. I mean, the wizard is so good that you could have the other two on the screen doing nothing else, and the wizard could get everyone past the level.
Listen, man, it's so much cooler when you're doing wizard with the other two players, and you like draw stuff for people while they're like flying through the air. They're like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna fall," and you're like, "Platform," and they're like, "That."
So I've been playing with my girlfriend, which is really cool because it has local multiplayer. And so she can play with her Xbox controller that she loves. I get to use my mouse and keyboard. I've mirrored my screen on like the big screen. So she's like sitting over here on the couch, like playing with the big screen, and I'm over here on my computer. Works really well. I love it when games put in those extra features. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel for Trine coming up. And yeah, that's and lots of other roleplay scattered about. I am hosting Arthur tonight, as I host everyone when I'm on their shows, so you'd get little notifications and find cool new roleplay streams to find. And yeah, that's about it for me. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love role-playing. It's one of my favorite things to do, and doing it for people in front of an audience is even more amazing. So it really means a lot to have people hanging out and watching and stopping by the YouTube to check out the VODs and stuff. So thank you, and thanks for the continued support.
All right, cool. Tuxtradamus, let's talk about you.
Hey.
I know you're going to be on a shit ton of shows with me in the future, so...
I am.
You know.
We're still getting a couple of them figured out, like with the Winter's Edge thing, but definitely this for at least for next week, and then hopefully we'll be able to figure out either another day or continue it after the Henley stream. And then starting on the 30th, I will be back. I will be appearing in Edge of the Empire. Arthur and I also I have a couple character ideas, and Arthur and I are gonna kind of hash that out, and hopefully that it will be cool and be a good. Obviously, Zane cannot be replaced, but hopefully, I'll be a good addition to the crew. Yeah.
He can't be replaced, but you know.
But we will be replacing him.
Here's his replacement. Yes.
But yeah, that'll be super awesome. I can't wait for that. But yeah, I am Tuxtradamus. I stream over at twitch.tv/Tuxtradamus. I tweet over at Twitter at Tuxtradamus. Tuxtradamus at all the things. Like I said in the beginning of the show, my Urban Shadows thing that I've been trying to hype and tell everybody about is finally going to actually be starting. Next week on Tuesday is going to be the first session, and if you are interested in playing, guess what? You can play if you click that link and put your name down.
That link's amazing. You mind if I throw that in the YouTube comment VOD?
Oh yeah, totally.
So people that watch on YouTube can be like, I want to play with Tuxtradamus.
Yeah, totally. And it's the game is also I also have a I also said I made a little like intro video for it just to kind of show a little bit of the game that we're gonna be playing, and then also just the in a call to people to sign up. But my video editor that I was using didn't work, so I downloaded a new one and put it all together. So tomorrow I'll put that up and make an official like little hey, come here, and tweet that out and everything. So
what do you use to edit videos?
I got a new one called what's this new one called? OpenShot, and that worked pretty decently.
I use Sony Vegas, but I've been having problems with it, so I might find a new one.
OpenShot's free, so that's a plus. And then I downloaded it and it worked pretty well. So yeah, I got that together, and I'll just at some point tomorrow, probably in the morning or whatever, I'll tweet out and put the video up. So there's that. Like I've been saying for a while, it's a game called Urban Shadows. It's like a urban fantasy game about people kind of trying to get by in the gritty streets, and it's definitely like a gothy kind of like nothing's really that good, but there's like some beauty in it kind of feel. It's like Wire meets Supernatural, like House of Cards meets Angel kind of vibe.
But it's not cyberpunk, yeah?
Right, it's
I thought
modern.
it was cyberpunk at first.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, it's modern. As Riga said in chat, oh shit, Tuesday, that sucks. Well, guess what? It's going to be twice a week, Tuesday in the EST evenings and Saturday during the day. So if you can't make Tuesday, you can sign up for a Saturday session as well. So
I can't make either one of those days. I'm very sad.
Oh shit! Damn it!
No,
Well, I
Not
guess
enough
you're
days
just gonna
in
have
the
to
week.
host a bunch of one-shots, Tux.
I guess so. I probably will. I probably will also sometime too. Just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do a random one that we're from people. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for next Tuesday starting it up. And then of course I'll be back here. And then also I'm just do my other random streams that I do, appearing in other people's channels, doing my own video game and RPG stuff. So if you enjoyed, I always love the follows. I thrive on them. It's how I sustain myself, as we all do. Once you see how the internet works. And yeah, thanks again, everybody, for watching and participating. The fan art, and seriously, if you can make it, go to the narrator stream that Arthur's gonna do, and like, if you have an idea, just throw it out there, and it might get used. So that's a great way to like be involved, and like you can see an idea that you had like come into play. Like maybe one of us will interact with it or something. So yeah, if you want to get involved, there's a lot of ways to do it. So thanks again to all of you. Thanks to SciFri, Virgil, and Kelsa again for playing. It's so good to play with you guys, and Arthur for running us. And I'm Tux.
All right, let's talk about SciFri.
Let's talk about me.
Let's
Who
talk
am
about you
Who
and
are me?
Who
I
are
am,
me?
Yes. I am the SciFri on the Twitch. Follow my stream, please. Give me all follows.
Did you just put a bunch of
Funny.
dollar bills in your...
Yes.
Jesus. Wow. Right
I
on
had
point
my-
then, I guess.
I had my first live stream yesterday where more than one viewer showed up.
Well,
Wow,
I'm
that's
getting
awesome.
up
Really,
there.
that's really good for bravo.
awesome, yeah.
I have 11 followers currently. My first follower goal is going for 20. So head over there, go give it a follow.
Sweet.
We're almost there. Going to be doing some Hearthstone laddering because my top ever Hearthstone rank is rank 4. And I'm shooting
Oh,
to get
wow.
all the way to Legend before the new expansion hits.
Good luck.
Awesome, yeah.
Good
So
luck.
I'm going to go ham on that. Yeah. Other than that, just chill streams. Follow me on Twitter. Come hang out.
I mean, if you're here, you probably already know who I am, so I don't need to introduce myself. Watch stuff on YouTube. Got a lot of cool stuff. All of these people, I think, except maybe SciFri, are in other things on my YouTube, so...
No, I
I'm in a
don't.
lot. I'm in a
Yeah, I
lot.
don't have a YouTube, and this is your first game that I've been in.
Yeah. But...
Although,
Tux-
if you want to see another RPG that I played, you can go back in the library of Eric Vulgaris's games, and there was one time where me, him, and another guy played Microscope Chronicle, which I thought was a really interesting game. You can look that up.
Well, you can find Eric Volkaris's YouTube channel by going to my YouTube channel and then looking at the suggested follows list on the right-hand side. And check out his Once Upon a Game playlist. I mean, SciFri is suggesting you watch something. I'm suggesting you watch the game that I was in, Monster Hearts, where I
That was
fucking
a good game.
destroyed it as Chaz, apparently. I thought
I've
I was
only
a
been in,
huge
like-
jackass, but apparently
Right.
people loved it, so...
You were a really lovable jackass, which is
Jesus.
perfect for a vampire, really.
I was like, hey, want to have sex? And everyone was like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, great. Now
That
it's time
freaking-
to just fucking murder everyone.
That freaking OP hypnotize is just like,
Just too good.
yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been on Eric Vulgaris' show a couple of times myself, 5 or 6 times, you know.
Well, you know what? I guess we're all just going to rep Eric Vulgaris. I was going to host
Yeah.
him after this.
I know,
but sure,
right?
let's just talk about how much we love Eric. Fucking hair is amazing.
Isn't he just so handsome?
I
He
know.
is very handsome.
Yep.
All right.
We all love Eric.
We've got a bit to talk about after this, but
Yeah.
enjoy
Click down
some
there
outro
if you're not
music.
following. There's a little button.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Down in
push
the places.
follows, subscribe on YouTube,
Wherever it is.
watch videos.
On
Look
YouTube,
at that
it'd be like
fan
over
art,
there.
and then go on Twitter and find the guy who does the fan art. B
Tell him
Costa,
how
B
amazing he
Crivello,
is.
Aero Saito, and just be like, hey, great fan art. Keep making some
Also-
awesome stuff.
Shoutouts to the stream. I just jumped up to 15 followers on Twitch.
Well, there you
You
go.
guys are great.
You ask for follows, and you shall receive.
I thought I was already following you, but apparently I wasn't, so I fixed that.
Oh, yeah. I wish they would add more content to Slime Rancher so I could stream that again.
That game was so fun.
I hit the end game of it real quick, but you know,
Me
it's still
too.
really early.
All right. Well, that's what we've got. We're going to talk some Mistborn stuff now, privately. So the future of the game is in our hands. We'll see you next week
Got
for
the
the
whole
final episode
world.
for now, I guess. Question mark. Enjoy some music.